Welcome to another episode of Chad Sports Talk. You don't know, my name's Chad. Take a dive on sports. And welcome to the week one of the college football season. Labor Day weekend is normally the grand stage for college football because they have 5 days of fun-filled football action for you to enjoy. Starting tonight, September 1st, Thursday, we get to see a old classic renewed. And it ends Monday night with a ACC clash in Atlanta. So we got to go review some of my 10 games I have my eye on. I got like 4 other sleepers that I'll kind of mention as well that I could find a little interesting, a little bit. I have a little stake in them a little bit. But that's beside the point. But before we dive into all of this, if you could, go ahead and smash that thumbs up for me, especially like the content I provide you. Really pleases YouTube guys. I brought this channel out. You also subscribe. I love you guys review my work. I love you all for doing that. That means you subscribe. Doesn't cost you a dime. Helps me provide more entertainment value for you. Well, after week 0, I went 2-2. That's normally the case. First couple of weeks in the college football season, my picks are not the greatest, and just kind of try to find my right peak and try to see who I think is going to be better in the early season. A lot of times I'm wrong, and then sometimes I'm trying to find that upset pick, and a lot of times that doesn't happen either. So let's go ahead and start off this week's picks with Thursday night action. There's a full slate of games, and it's go back to an old favorite from the old Big East days. The Backyard Brawl is back. That's right. West Virginia and Pitt have renewed it. They're battling in Heinz Field. No, I'm sorry. That's Acrisure Stadium. What a flippin' name that is. This is not the same Pitt teams last year. Losing Kenny Pickett's a really hard thing to kind of replace. I think the majority of the core, the essence of that team is still kind of there. I don't think they'll have the same surprising aspects they normally do. And West Virginia, well, it's just West Virginia. They tend to stumble through the seasons, it seems like. They never seem to really have really good teams that really, and when they do, they fold right at the end. So it's really hard to kind of pick between these two. This should be a really classic game between them. These are one of these games you look forward to. This is one of these old school rivalry games that I wish would renew. And I'm gonna go to the hometown in this one. I'm gonna go with Pitt. Right now they're favored by 7.5. I have a feeling it's gonna be closer than that. I think it might be more of a 6. But I think Pitt is going to be just enough to beat West Virginia. And then another one to kind of keep an eye on for tonight is a Big Ten showdown in West Lafayette, Indiana. The Purdue Boilermakers are playing host to Penn State. For some reason, neither one of these schools were ranked in the preseason top 25. But they're both kind of sitting outside waiting for someone to fall. So they could get their opportunity very shortly. And Purdue surprised a lot of teams last year, kind of been a thorn in the side in the Western Division. They're going to beat the exact same way again this year. I think Penn State's going to be one of those mid-card teams in the Big Ten East. It's just too top-heavy in that side of the division for the Big Ten. But I think Penn State could edge out Purdue in this one. Penn State right now is favored by 3.5. I think it's going to be a 3-point win, but only time will tell where that one happens. But I wouldn't be surprised if Purdue went ahead and knocked off Penn State. And start with the Saturday action, and we got Notre Dame visiting the Horseshoe in Columbus, taking on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Both of them are top 5 ranked, so once it's done, one of them won't be. And Ohio State favored by 17 points right now. They think it's going to be a lopsided affair. I don't think it's going to be as lopsided as I think the point makers kind of think it is. I still believe Ohio State's going to beat them. I have no question about that. I think it's going to be a double-digit win as well. It's going to be like a 10-14 point win at 17. I think Notre Dame put up enough of a fight to make it interesting for a while, and then the dam would just break on them. But definitely will watch it and scream to TV, because that's what I do. But yeah, I think Ohio State will knock off Notre Dame. So, and I'm an Irish fan, and it breaks my heart to say that. Another one of those kickoff games out there in Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, where the Bulldogs will host the Oregon Ducks. So the defending champions will try to see if they can knock off one of the premier Pac-12 powerhouses. And unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be even close. Georgia right now is favored by 17. Georgia's defense still permits intact. And, they lost a huge chunk of their playmakers. But I think they got enough talent in that roster to take care of Oregon. I don't think it's going to be 17, though. I think it's going to be another thing. It's going to be like a 14 or 10 point win. Because I think Oregon will do just enough to upset the Bulldogs a bit and get them a little out of their game temporarily. But I think it's going to be nothing but Georgia's going to just kind of maintain a nice even pace throughout the game and be able to hold on and beat Oregon by 14. Another one featuring a pair of top 25 schools in our preseason polls. Cincinnati is heading to Fayetteville, Arkansas to take on the Razorbacks. Cincinnati will not be repeating their magical run they had last year. Sorry to say for any Bearcat fan out there. They do have some talent. I mean, they recruit the right things, and they're doing the right thing to build a nice, good program, especially in their upcoming seasons where they'll be joining the Big 12. So they'll be able to hit that conference running right away. And Arkansas is actually building off a pretty successful year last year. So they're looking to continue that trend and hopefully finish the season strong instead of collapsing towards the end of the year. And I think it's going to be too much hogs for the Bearcats to handle. Right now, Arkansas is favored by 6.5. Yeah, I think it's going to be a 7-point win at least for our Swamp in Gainesville, where the Gators will host 7th-ranked Utah. And once again, another SEC Pac-12 showdown. And things they're going to have to rebuild things in the Swamp. Very disappointing year last year. They couldn't even make the bowls. Utah, defending Pac-12 champions. I think they have a good chance of doing it again this year. It might even surprise people. Might even make the playoffs this year. That's one of my sleeper picks. And I think the Utes will be way too much for the Gators to handle. The Utes will come out of Gainesville with some new belts and boots as they take care of the Gators. Right now they're favored by 3. I think it's going to be at least 10. But Utah winning in the Swamp. All right, next up is going to be an oddball one because it's not really against two ranked opponents, but it's the Mid-South Classic between Memphis and Mississippi State. This is just looks like a very good matchup between these two. Both of them have Memphis is kind of coming down off a couple of years. They should still be a very decent school in the American. They're still trying to get attention, possibly getting added in more recent expansion talks. They're still kind of rumored to join the Big 12 one of these years. And Mississippi State's going to find themselves maybe being the third whistle or fourth wheel, so I say, in the SEC West, especially with their in-state rivals and Bama and Texas A&M. So it's going to be a good launching point for either one of these programs. And right now, Mississippi State's favored by 16. I think this was probably be like that. I think it's going to be a one-sided affair, and I really think the Bulldogs is going to pull away from Memphis on this one. Another ones that really get a lot of attention is Oregon State playing host to Boise State. Here goes Boise State again, taking on the Pac-12 beginning of the season. And once again, people are underestimating Boise State because Oregon State's favored by 2.5. I think this is going to be the Broncos winning in Corvallis, making sure to give themselves a new hat. But it's just one of these things that they always seem to underestimate Boise State, and Boise State's another one of these schools. It's also rumored for the Big 12 expansion. They decided to go past with their current format. And I think it's the original BCS Buster, so they'll make some noise. And I'll say Boise State wins on the road. Games are just the only games on the docket. One for Sunday, one for Monday. So you got Florida State going to LSU playing the Superdome down there in New Orleans for the All-State Louisiana Kickoff. And Kelly's making his coaching debut for the Bayou Bengals, playing host to Florida State at a school he has no issue beating before in the past when he was the coach of the Irish. And with this one, I kind of went back and forth on this one. Right now, LSU's only favored by 3. To kind of let you know, Florida State's kind of made some noise. They played Duquesne last week, so that don't really count. It's a tune-up game for them. At least it wasn't Jacksonville State. And I'm not sure if they got enough talent right there in LSU right now. I have a feeling they might have enough from Orgeron that did not leave after he retired, and the advent of Kelly. They did lose their starting quarterback, who just hung up his cleats. So I think offensively, LSU is going to struggle, but I don't think Florida State is that good overall, and I'm going to take the Bayou Bengals. And then the final game, Monday Night Football, the Chick-Fil-A Kickoff right there, also in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You'll see Georgia Tech hosting the 4th-ranked Clemson Tigers. I think it's a little overranked right now. Actually, I don't think they're going to win the ACC, but that's just my opinion. But Dabo Swinney, he's got to repent from last season's early season debacle and get this team rolling in the right direction. Right now, I don't see a line available for these two right now, but it should be Clemson all day long. I don't think Georgia Tech is there yet. They should be a low-end member in the ACC ranking system. So I think Clemson will close out Week 1 with a nice conference victory. Now go over a couple of my little sleepers. Illinois visiting Indiana. Yeah, another Big Ten matchup. Early in the season, the Illini had a very good showing offensively-ish against Wyoming. Defensively, they showed up. Discipline's going to be their issue, as well as their special teams. So we'll kind of see how that one plays out for them. Indiana should be a decent squad as well. Right now, Indiana's favored by 1.5. But I'll go ahead and pick the Illini in this one. But next one will be to look at is Houston visiting UTSA. Right now, the Cougars are 24th ranked. They'll probably be the Group of 5 member in the New Year's Six Bowls. Visiting the Roadrunners, who had a phenomenal season last year. However, after replacing their OC and most of their talent has already graduated and got drafted, I don't see the Roadrunners repeating that fact. In fact, I don't see them probably even getting close to. I think they're going to make a bowl, but they're not going to be at the high end as they were last year. Right now, Arkansas is only favored by 4. I think it's going to be more than that. I think the Cougars are going to be too much for them. Another interesting one is Arizona visiting San Diego State. It's really interesting because Arizona was horrible last year. San Diego State was a very decent one. Should make a nice deep run in the Mountain West. And them and Boise State should, probably fight to see who wins. Another Mount West Pac-12 showdown and another Pac-12 loss. Arizona, I don't think have fixed any issues, and it'll just go be another embarrassment for them. Another one that's kind of going to be interesting is James Madison will make their FBS debut. Um, they were one of the teams that were expanded by the Sun Belt. They weren't supposed to come out this year. They're supposed to wait till next season. But because Colonial was being a little rude, I guess you can say, saying they're not eligible for any conference titles this academic or this athletics year, James Madden's like, all right, fine, we're gone, and just left and jumped to the Sun Belt early, which then caused the Sun Belt to kind of reach out to the three members of Conference USA, and they all agreed to make the move early as well. So the Sun Belt is at the 14-member football conference. So, but they make their debut in the FBS, taking on Middle Tennessee. Right now, the Dukes are favored by 6. James Madison it's a very good FCS program, and I think they'll translate very well in the Sun Belt, even though they're not really eligible for the conference title or a playoff bid because of them transitioning. But I think they'll be able to handle the Blue Raiders. Another interesting one is going to be Army taking on Coastal Carolina down there in Conway, South Carolina. Coastal Carolina's, and they got, replaced Malik Willis, and Army has been very good these past couple seasons. Pretty much they've been the darling of the service academies. Right now, Coastal's favored by 2, and I don't think it's going to be Army in this one. I really think Army's just going to be too much for Coastal to handle. Then the Safeway series between SMU and North Texas. Just one of these weird rivalry games that just all of a sudden started between two coaches. Talking about, they just name up a place. We would play them in a Safeway parking lot, and thus started the name. And right now, SMU is favored by 11. But I think North Texas probably be a little bit more advantageous to kind of hold them off, even though SMU probably got a little bit better quality players, maybe slightly. But I don't think they're going to win by 11. I think it's going to be North Texas will squeak out the win in this one and go 2-0 in the season to start off, giving the Mean Green some mean aspirations, making the rest Conference USA green with envy. All right, I'll stop. But hey, those are my picks. The ones that we'll concentrate on is Pitt beating their old school rival in the Backyard Brawl, West Virginia, Thursday night, as well as Penn State edging out Purdue. And then for the Saturday actions, Arkansas over Cincinnati. Georgia, of course, be too much for Oregon. Utah winning in the swamp. The Buckeyes holding off the Irish at the Horseshoe. Mississippi State blowing out the Tigers of Memphis. And Boise State going into Corvallis, Oregon, and taking care of the Beavers. Then the Sunday action, we'll see Kelly win his LSU coaching debut against Florida State. To be one of the few times he'll have a victory this season. And Clemson will end up blowing out their conference opponent in the Monday night action to start off the season undefeated. Well, those are my picks. Let me know down below what game you're looking forward to the most. Which one of these picks you think are completely outrageous. Which other game you look at for besides what I've already mentioned, and some of the other games that could provide some little entertainment. There's a few of them out there that could be quite interesting, so we'll kind of see how that plays out. But just let me know what you think. Well, see, who else could be up at night about college football? And while you're there, go ahead and hit the thumbs up once again. You can also share this video with your friends and family. It really helps promote this channel out. Once you subscribe, make sure you hit that bell. Let you know next time I post a video. And I will see you next time on Chat Sports Talk.